Words create worlds. Your words aren't just commentary, they're construction. The words we use don't describe, they define our reality. You live in a world that's been created by your words. In the very beginning, let there be light. It wasn't architected and thrown through a computer and some AI bot. It was literally words. God spoke and there was light. Your words literally create your reality. So let's dive into that. Life is a pitch. It's simply that. It is a pitch and it is fun. Let's make sure that you're being sold what you want and you're selling what you actually want to sell. I really just love selling. It's the easiest thing on the planet if you believe in yourself. Let's buckle up. By the way, my name's JL. This is Sell Anything. Let me talk to you just a tiny second about an experience I had today. And if the person I had this experience with listens to the episode, so be it, because it's going to help some other people. I actually think it was a really powerful conversation. But she's someone who I really enjoy. She plays a big part in my life. She helps me out with a lot of things. But she's a part of a text message group. They call themselves Trash. And I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean trash? And she's like, that's how we all just see ourselves. We're trash. Okay, time out. Maybe you need to change the name of your text message group. You're not trash. You're divine by design. We all know that. Earlier in the conversation, she said, I had a tiny bit of a spiral over the weekend. And I was like, what does spiral mean? And she's like, I didn't work out. I had X amount of alcohol, and it was a lot. Didn't hit my numbers, didn't hit my stuff, didn't do anything. I just spiraled. And I said, okay, so where are we at now? And she said, I'm not spiraling. And I said, perfect, not spiraling. How can you say that differently? What do you mean? And I said, here's the thing. The unconscious mind has no idea what on earth you're talking about when you say not. It does not take into consideration negation. It just doesn't. If I tell you, don't think of a purple elephant or a pink elephant, what are you thinking about? Automatically, you're thinking about a purple or pink elephant. So when she says to me, I'm not gonna spiral, what is she thinking about? She's thinking about spiraling. So I asked her again, what is a different way you can say that? And all she could say was, not spiral. And I said, give me just a different word. Because again, words create worlds. She thought for a second, and then together we came up with the word ascend. Ascend is the exact opposite of spiral. If you are ascending, you're going up. You're not going down, you're not tail spinning. She said, my life's a complete shit show. And I said, okay, talk to me about your life. How's your relationship with your kids? She said, it's great. And I said, are your kids doing good in school? Do they talk to you? They tell you the truth? Are they there for you? She said, my daughters are doing good. How's your relationship with them? It's good. They love being around. We talk about stuff. We had a good vacation. They're doing good in school. They're doing good. And I said, okay, so at least we got one positive turd. And then I said, okay, how's your business? And she said, my business is doing really good. It's a big turd. And I was like, okay, so your business is a big turd, but it's doing good. Whether or not your life is a complete shit show, you still have things inside of that you can find that are good. I asked her about her balance, and her balance quadrant of the core 4 was a little bit out of balance. She's actually going through a pretty bad divorce, which is a good thing for her. And so that one quadrant made everything fall out of alignment just a little bit, and she wasn't able to see all the other things. But then I asked her, how's your relationship with God? How's your being? And she said, I'm working on it. It went from my life as a complete shit show to when we actually started to look at the facts of the situation, there are some definite turds in the punch bowl. But then there's also a lot of really good things that could be used as fertilizer if we're going to keep using the turd analogy. It's just the way the game goes. We are so unconscious of the words we use because a lot of times they're just what we've been taught. We've heard other people say things and it sounded funny and it got a response, so we inherit that language. But language matters. Your words matter. There was a time in my life when I never, ever, ever swore, to the point that people would apologize to me if they swore around me just because it wasn't a part of my language. Then I started to expose myself to other groups, entertainment, things that swearing was just a part of it, and I noticed that swearing started to become another part of my language. I'm not saying that swearing is bad. If you want to swear, swear. But what I am saying is, do you want to describe your environment with highly aggressive and highly derogatory things? Or do you want to describe your environment with something that is beautiful and wonderful? Think about the way you describe your kids. I can't tell you how many times I was called a little shit. And guess what? My behavior a lot of the times backed it up. For those of you that have been around in the episode, you know that my mom dealt with addiction. And there was a time that she was very under the influence of some drugs. And previously, a few weeks before that, she had taught me how to drive. So in my mind, I took the liberty to think that I could drive. And so I started driving around town at 13 years old. Now, mind you, I grew up in a tiny little town where I'm not getting in trouble unless I do something like I did. And here's what I did. I took the car and I went and I got the mail. And the truth is, knowing me, I probably was going to get the mail because I probably got what was called a disciplinary note from my teachers, which again helped reiterate the way that I had been described as a little turd. And so if I could intercept that disciplinary note before my parents got it, then there's not as much heat. I'm on my way back from getting the mail and I come flying in the driveway and the tires are just spinning and the gravel's rolling. And I come around the corner, slam on the brake, I get that gravel sensation again, peel out, get that gravel sensation again. And before I know it, I was closer to the house than I should have been. And as I peel out, I go to hit the brake, miss the brake, hit the gas, go right into the side of the house, then sell my mom on the idea that she did it. But if I had been told, dude, you're always so honest and I appreciate that. You always do what the right thing and I appreciate that. I know I can trust you. Would I have even thought to lie to my mom? Not 1 second. But instead, I was carrying around this identity that I believed that I was little shit. I did everything in my power to get away with it. I lied to her and was able to convince her of the fact for a mere minute that she had done it. That is just a tiny example of how words play such a powerful influence into the domains of your life. How are you speaking to your kids? How are you speaking to your wife? How are you speaking to your own body? I've tried everything and I just can't lose the weight. I'm just so undisciplined. You are not describing yourself, you are defining yourself. If you are writing the dictionary of your life, make sure those definitions serve you. Now, let me ask you another question. How do you talk about your job? I had another conversation this morning with another good buddy of mine, and I asked him, he had this incredible idea of a business venture that he was doing and having some success on. It was already producing revenue. And I asked him, hey, what's the one thing that would make this fail? Just out of curiosity. And he literally thought about it for a minute. And here's what it is. The moment that I start to describe what I'm doing as an obligation instead of excitement is the moment it all goes to crap. The moment, oh, I've got to go do this for this business is the moment that the enthusiasm leaves and I no longer want to play the game. But if I get up every single day and I'm like, dude, I get to go grow this thing and I get to go make it happen, he's excited and it grows and it goes. If I could drive anything home, your words create your world. Now, here's what I want you to do. As you get into your world and you're having interactions with yourself when it comes to your body, with your spouse or your kids, or even your relationship with God, what are you using to describe it? Are your words condemning your environment, or are they building connection and creating your environment the way that you want to? That's a trick question. Your words are always creating your environment. Make sure that they are words of connection, charity, and building, not condemnation and criticism. Nothing kills creation quicker than condemning and criticizing. Your words matter. That includes criticizing yourself, that includes criticizing your employees, that includes criticizing your family or anybody in your world. Criticism and condemnation crush creation. It's as simple as that. Curiosity, charity, compliments, those are the words of creation. Those are the words that spark inspiration. Choose your words wisely because they create your world. Now, when it comes to your body, words truly do matter. Your own internal dialogue and the dialogue that you surround yourself with. Now, let me give you a really solid example of what I mean. If you have a habit of saying, I will start Monday, when do you start? Usually Monday. And then when do you stop? Usually Monday. But if you tell yourself, I got this, I can do this, I'm starting now. There's a really powerful word. It is a 3-letter word, now. Now is the only time that you actually have power over anything. So how are you speaking to yourself now? When you are in the gym, are you saying, dude, I'm just not feeling it today? Or are you saying, you know what, I'm here now, I'm just gonna go get my workout done now? Or did you already put it on your calendar and you start to negotiate with the calendar and say, you know what, dude, I'm not feeling it today? No, go get it done. I met a kid last week. Now this kid, dude, he's a stud. 21. He is just jacked and juicy, dude. I don't have a better way to describe him. And he is so driven and so motivated and is starting a company. And he is dating this really cute girl who is equally motivated and driven. Now, both of them look like they should be fitness models. It's the game they've been playing all through their teenage years and into their early 20s. And they were in the gym together. And he was going. And in his mind, he said to himself, I'm going to get to 10 reps. I'm going to be done. He got to 10 reps And as right as he was about to approach the 10 reps, so he wasn't fully there, he was at about 9. She was spotting him and she said to him, "You got 2 more." And in his mind, he's like, I'm trying to impress this chick. I can't stop now. I got to get these 2 more reps. And sure enough, he got those 2 more reps. So if he would have listened to that little critic inside of himself, he would have stopped at 10. But because he put himself in an environment with somebody that he trusts, he really wants to get to know and impress, he got 2 more. Where you put yourself when it comes to your body, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your life, matters. Your words matter. Make it a great day.